All right. Hello, friends. We have such a special episode for you today. Longtime listeners will remember as we head into the first men's major of the season that we like to celebrate our Masters Week mini-series called Memoirs from Magnolia Lane. Just a quick reminder that this podcast mini-series is in no way affiliated with, nor are we sponsored by Augusta National Golf Club, the Masters Tournament, or any of its affiliates. Just getting that out of the way. So excited to kick off our third season of this series and introduce you to today's guest. You've probably seen her on NBC Sports or the Golf Channel, interviewing your favorite player after their round. She's a former junior golfer, now playing in several pro-ams herself, including the AT&T Pebble Beach Pro-Am multiple times. She's a dog mom to Steve. She's beauty,
Yeah.
she's great, she's Miss America 2015, the lovely, talented Kira Dixon. How are you today?
Hi, Nikki. I'm great. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for being here today. And I have so many things that I'm dying to chat with you about, including running into you last year in Augusta.
Yeah.
But before we get to all of that, for the last 3 seasons of this series, we have started each episode by asking all of our guests the same question, which is, what makes the Masters a quote unquote tradition unlike any other for you?
Well, I think that I grew up watching the Masters tournament every year. So to me, it was well, and also my parents are foreign, they're Russian. So it was like a way for them to really understand what this whole golf thing was about that they had decided that they were going to put their kid into without really knowing much about golf's culture or the majors or anything like that. They just saw it as this great American business skill that they felt that their kid should have.
Mm.
And the Masters almost bridged the gap for them of like, wow, this is the best of the best. This is golf. This is tradition. This is America. This is that quintessential, like everything that they came to America for type of thing, that big dream. So I've just always associated it with this just a dream. And that's what it is for so many people that get to participate in it, and for just those that get to be on the grounds.
Yeah, I'm actually really glad that you mentioned that and talking about like the dream and especially kind of bridging that gap with the and how it's international.
Mhm.
Last year, we actually took our son to the drive, chip, and putt for the first time, and it was my first time going to that event. But one of my favorite stories that came out of the drive, chip, and putt is a story that you actually got to cover about the then 12-year-old drive, chip, and putt finalist, Maya Gowden. I think I'm pronouncing that last name right, Maya Gowden. Yeah. It was such a powerful story. Like I get chills even thinking about it now, about how she grew up in poverty in Dubai and like just her resiliency and how she used golf to kind of, power her. And, she had that dream to come here and to play, and how she landed at Augusta and became friends with Rory. And it was such a great story that you got to tell. And what is it like for you being like on the storyteller end of tales like these, and having also been on the kid side of that, having that dream,
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I participated in drive, chip, and putt as a junior golfer. So then when I was all of a sudden covering drive, chip, and putt stories, I was like, "Oh my god, this is so full circle and so amazing." Because, when I did little drive, chip, and putt qualifiers as a kid, like it just was such a looking back, it's, such a nostalgia thing. It was so much fun. It was great competition against your friends. I never made it to the finals or anything like that. But being able to tell those stories is like golf is a superpower.
Mhm.
And then you as a storyteller are spreading that power and using that power for good. And, Maya Gowden's story just kind of sits there without the vehicle that we have at NBC Sports to be able to tell it. And there's so much responsibility that comes with that. I always think about like, let's say somebody, I primarily cover the PGA Tour. So let's say somebody wins on the PGA Tour. It's their first win. It's this huge, massive moment in their life. They might not ever win again. Like this could be it.
Mhm.
And you are the person that's standing there facilitating the moment and letting them get their emotions out. You will forever be ingrained in this winning moment for them. They will always remember it, or they will always have the video to look back on. And like,
Mhm.
there's a lot of pressure that comes with that, and so much responsibility. But it's also like the best part of what we do is being able to be the vehicle by which the story gets told.
Yeah, I that reminds me of the year that, that Tiger won again in 2019, how when that final putt dropped, it was just silence from Jim Nantz because he knew, like, you don't interrupt a moment like that, and
Totally.
you give it its time. And even the year that Hideki won, when his caddy went back out to get the flag, like, there was some silence. Like, you give it its moment, um, and until it's time for you to step back up and give the story its breath and let the story take over, I think. But that's the job of the storyteller, I think,
Mhm.
which is so powerful. But I think back to the drive, chip, and putt, coming from your point of view as a kid who competed in it, um, is that like, and then having told that story, were you like holding back tears a little bit? Was it like, I mean,
Yeah, I mean, when I look through these scripts and I get to know those stories on a deeper level, like it's not just like another story or another script that we write. Like it's like I said, it's like a huge responsibility, and like I get invested into every single one. I cry every time somebody wins. Like you're a journalist and you're a storyteller, but you're also a human being,
right.
and you can't get truly excited about the story without allowing your emotion out just a little bit
Mhm.
to be able to connect with the story, to empathize with the story and understand what a big deal it is. So yeah, absolutely. I kind of live and breathe for those types of moments because they're such human things that you never know what kid somewhere in the world, due to Augusta is such an international presence, like that could be a life-changing 6 minutes on air that
Yeah,
you won't ever know that the impact of that until maybe one day they show up at Drive Chip and Putt national finals and they get to have their moment too.
right. Now, kind of going back to last year a little bit, you and I ran into each other last year at the tournament, and we saw, a
At the
handful.
tree.
Yes, at the tree. Yes, meet at the tree. And the tree is a place where, there's so many people that you run into. And we ran into a lot of other, people that we know through golf media and golf Twitter. And what was that? That was your first time actually being at Augusta and getting to walk the grounds, correct?
Yes.
Yes. What was that like for you, having grown up with such a love of that tournament and that course, and having gone to so many other incredible golf courses, just
Yeah.
getting to walk into that gates for the first time?
Yeah, I think that my face was just in permagrin that day because I wasn't working the golf tournament. I was in town because I had a sponsor engagement, and it kind of was like I was lucky enough to get passes through my agency that reps me, which was very, very nice of them to set that up. And it was one of those, like, you know what? If I ever come back here, it will be for work. And
Mhm.
this is probably a unique opportunity for me to go as a fan.
Mhm.
Like, there are very few now that I cover golf for a living, like, there are very few golf tournaments that I would want to go to just as a fan, just because, you kind of know you're in the belly of the beast, you know how the sausage gets made. Like,
Right.
you're
Yep.
just not as compelled to just show up to a golf tournament because that's literally what you do for work.
Mhm.
But this obviously is a completely different thing. So I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna get to live this dream that I've had since I was a kid, to just enjoy Augusta. And I think that we walked through, I don't remember which gate exactly, but we walked through the gates, and of course it's all pristine and beautiful, and like touch the grass, it's perfect. And I think it was, maybe we walked up to like 13 or 14, and Tiger, Rory, and Tom Kim were coming up the fairway, and they were it was like, of course, this is the group that we happen to run into first in their
As you're
practice
walking
round.
up
As
through
I'm
the, like,
walking in,
shoe
my
break and
first
yeah.
first 5 minutes on the grounds, like, I'm watching these guys practice and, uh, getting that was, like, the full experience right there in, like, the first 5 minutes. I was like, "Okay, well, should we go?" Like, we did and I was with my agent, Cosette, and she was like, "No, no, no, like, we gotta go, like, get a pimento cheese sandwich," and, like,
Right.
other things. I'm like,
Yeah.
"Oh, okay, 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 fine." So we ended up, going and getting concessions and standing at different vantage points to, like, really take in, just, like, how hilly it is and how intense the landscape is. Like, you do not get that on television no matter how many times you've heard about it or seen it on TV. Going up to the tree and the first tee and the practice area, just everything was as advertised. And I had the best day as a fan, truly enjoying golf, and I loved curating my outfit for the moment. Like, it was just perfect. It was a perfect day.
Now, normally at golf tournaments, you kinda touched on this being, like, having a fan experience versus, like, it was a work experience, and, normally, like, you're kind of taking a cart from the media center out to a
Yeah.
hole or something, or if you are walking, you can kind of blend into the crowd or something with your camera crew. What was it like being there, and getting to walk through the crowd kinda as a fan and being in a place where if someone does recognize you, like,
Mhm.
they couldn't immediately, like, pull out a phone and snap a selfie or ask, like, "Oh, hey, can I, like, get, a picture with you or something?"
Yeah, I
Knowing that
mean,
you have a little bit of, like, space,
yeah.
yourself.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't consider myself to be in that, like, echelon of people, but I know, like, celebrities show up to that like, Justin Timberlake will go and, like, it's the one tournament that he can really go to because there's not a million people mobbing him with cell phones for selfies, and, like, this
Mhm.
audience is also, like, just a bit different, so, like, they're probably not they're more interested in seeing the golf course and the golfers than they are about, like, insert celebrity,
Right.
which I would not consider to myself to be on par with, but since this is a very educated golf audience, like, sure, like, if they watch the
Right.
Golf Channel, they've probably seen me, whatever. I had some very nice people come up and chat and say some lovely things, and I think that there were a few people that had, like, like, it's a practice round, so they had their cameras that they had brought in. We took a couple of pictures, but, like, there was so much joy, like, "Yeah, let's take a picture." And
Right.
there's certainly nothing wrong with that. I'm there to celebrate just as much as you are, and we can celebrate the moment.
Yep. Now, you also mentioned, like, you curated your outfits for the day,
Yeah.
and, you and I share a pet peeve, and you've mentioned this on your social media channel before, but people not wearing sensible shoes to golf tournaments. You even started a series, I think, on your Instagram recently about, like, what to wear and what to know if you're going to certain tournaments.
Friends don't let friends wear open-toed shoes or heels to golf tournaments, yeah.
Yes, yes. I saw someone in Kiowa at the PGA Championship one year, which is, like, you're walking through the beach, honestly, like, it's half beach, half
Yeah.
wearing, like, they were, like, open-toed cowboy boots, kind of, like, they had, like, a heel, and I was just like,
Cute,
yeah,
but
yes,
no.
but I was like, "Girl, you're gonna be hurting so bad." No, but especially in Augusta, like, every person that that asks me, I tell them, "Comfortable shoes, like, you will
Wear
be
sensible
fine."
shoes.
Um,
Yeah. A
if
thick sole sneaker. I
Yes.
prefer an Air Force One, or there's a I forget what it's called, the Adidas ones that are have that like, the extra little cushy.
Yes, and I think
Any of
waste
those.
management, someone I think that had seen your video and then called you out and was like, I saw your video," and yeah, yeah. Um,
Just making a difference, helping the people, one Instagram video at a time.
yes, it does help, it does help.
Good.
Well, having now that you have gone, what would you like if you had to tell someone like, "Hey, this is what you, like, should wear to Augusta, put together an outfit," like, what would you recommend, if you could
Mm,
give sensible fashion advice to someone who is
yeah.
going to the first time?
Well, let's say that the weather is nice and you
Okay,
don't have
true,
to
yeah, the weather
you
is a
don't have
huge factor.
yeah, you don't have to worry about rain, or if it's like let's say it's 82 degrees, partly cloudy, that
Mhm,
type of day. I would like find something that's very cute and maybe has green accents or has like some sort of something that matches the green theme. I love a tennis dress with
mm,
nice shoes, nice like Air Force One thick sneakers type of thing, Air Maxes, and like a wide brim hat. If you want to get a little fancier, you can do a wide leg trouser with like a cute blouse or like a sleeveless shirt of like a night. You don't have to go golf clothes. Like,
Hmm.
this isn't the Kentucky Derby, but this is also not the driving range. Like
Right.
you can be a little bit fancier. And I'm also like kind of extra as a human being. So like I wore these like Argyle wide leg trousers with the matching shirt and a wide brim hat, and that's like part of my personal style. But if you want to like blend in a little bit more, like a very cute, tennis dress, an aloe yoga dress, anything like that, that makes you happy and comfortable, because you're going to be like, you don't want to leave. You're going to be walking around all day long. So something that you can feel cute in, make last all day. That's not going to be like something that you need to be fixing or anything like that. And just wear sunscreen.
Oh yeah, sunscreen, definitely a big one. I think I feel you on the being extra for Augusta for sure. I think I mentioned this on here before. We growing up, we would get master's outfits before we would get like our Easter outfits every year.
Yeah.
Like,
Well,
that's
I'm sure you don't need me for this, for giving the
right.
outfit
But there
advice.
are people who,
You know.
they don't know. And especially like, you ask like people who have gone before and it's mostly like men who are like, oh, just wear, polo and
Khaki
some
shorts and a
khakis.
polo. No, no,
And
no,
it's
no.
like,
We're
no,
not
no,
doing that.
no.
We're gonna be cute. We're gonna live our best lives. If you find there's a dress that I wore from a brand called Cinca Set that was like a green plaid, but because it's not a tennis dress or anything like that, it doesn't have built-in shorts. If you're doing a lot of walking around, like it starts to get uncomfortable. So like if you wear like a cuter, like a midi length dress or something like that, like put on a pair of like biker shorts underneath, because that'll make it so that you can walk around all day, be comfortable, even if it's gets really warm or if it gets a little colder, like you're good.
Yeah. And the weather last year was every end of the spectrum. It was
The days that I
95%
went, it was perfect. So
Yes.
I don't know what that means, but just saying. I got out of there before it got bad.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. No, and speaking of picking out outfits and things, which was it more difficult for you to pick out and like plan your outfit for the Masters, or to pick your Miss America dress, or to pick your wedding dress? Like,
Oh my gosh. I it was pretty easy for me to pick out my master's outfits, because I had already owned one of the dresses and I was like, "Oh, this would be perfect." And then I saw the other one there's a brand called The Upside. It's an Australian brand, and
mhm,
they're mostly known for like activewear and leggings, but they just got into club sports, and
mhm.
they had those wide leg trousers, and I saw it on their website, immediately ordered it, because I just was like, "Oh, like I have
Anything
to have
green and
this
white,
for
you're
like."
like, yeah.
Yeah, this is perfect for golf, like being a little bit chic at a golf tournament, like that's it. Um, my Miss America dress was we had to use a sponsor at the time, Tony Bowles, so it was kind
Mhm.
of limited to what I could actually do. So that was easy enough. I absolutely hated the wedding dress process, because I've been lucky to wear some like beautiful gowns through Miss America, and I just felt like every wedding dress I was trying on just looked like a pageant dress to me.
Mm.
And it was just hard to find something that I felt like wasn't something that I'd seen before, worn before, or felt pageanty or whatever. So the dress I ended up with, I love. I don't know. I wasn't like, I never had that, people are like, "Oh my God, you just know," like
Not
you're
say
blown
yes
away
to
by
the
this.
dress, like,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah. Like this is
I think
perfect.
that's
Like
manufactured. They make
it's a bit
you think
manufactured.
what
Yeah, I
you
never
have.
had
Yeah.
this like, oh my God, like it's a dress.
Yeah.
So yeah, so
Yeah.
that was probably the most difficult one for me.
Well, before we go, I want to do a quick round of like Masters favorites, and get through the, our obvious ones, and kind of get some hits here. Let's start with the big one: the pimento cheese or the egg salad.
Um, the pimento cheese, but I love the egg salad too.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm an equal opportunity sandwich consumer, so it's just like a thin margin. If you ask me tomorrow, I might say egg salad. I don't know. Today it's pimento cheese.
Did you ever try the mixing them where you did the like?
Yes, so I didn't do the pimento cheese and egg salad mix because it was too much mushiness,
Yeah,
but I did the pimento half a pimento cheese and half a chicken salad.
yeah. That's where it's at. Yes.
That is where it's at. Let me tell you, I had like 3 of those. It was delicious.
Yep. A hack that I shared with our listeners last year, for because there are some people who are like, I love the pimento cheese. It's just too much. Like it's just
Yeah.
too, they put too much on it there. You get a pimento cheese sandwich and you get a bag of just the plain. They used to have crackers, but they don't anymore. But just the plain Lay's because there's
Yeah.
salt to them. And then you just use the Lay's to scoop the pimento
It's like a
cheese off
dip.
like a dip until there's enough that you want, and then you eat the sandwich like normal.
I'm like salivating right now.
Yeah.
Next question.
Oh, okay. Still on the sandwich, the ham and cheese on rye or the club?
The club. I don't like ham and cheese.
Yeah. Some people, well, I think it's the rye that gets some people. It's like if they would just do the ham and cheese on just a regular bread, but
I
yeah.
like rye bread. I'm not a ham and cheese.
Not
really.
a ham. Okay.
No.
Okay. This is probably an obvious one too. The peach ice cream sandwich or the chocolate chip cookie?
Peach ice cream sandwich.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like they also sell out of those like by midweek. So
I did get one, and it was as advertised.
I do remember when I ran into you, I had just grabbed a sandwich, and it was my first sandwich of the day. Actually, I hadn't eaten real food. I ate an ice cream sandwich first, and I'm like, it's like 90 degrees already, and I'm like chowing down, and I see you, and I went, Kira, and I like have like a mouthful of, and you turn around, I'm like, oh God, I probably shouldn't have shouted your name as I'm like,
no, that's exactly how you should be shouting someone's name full of ice cream. That is the way.
Down my
I would love nothing more.
Favorite hole at Augusta?
Oh gosh, I don't know. I love them all.
Well, okay, let me rephrase it. Which one would you rather play? And then which one would you rather
I think that I would rather I think that I would, can I just say Amen Corner, just because of like the beauty of all the azaleas, and that little stretch of golf to me is just like, that's golf right there.
Mhm.
Like that's the pinnacle of everything. Like if I could just play those holes forever, I think I'd
all
be
3 of those right there.
Yeah.
To play or sit and watch or both?
Well, both, but I'd rather play.
Favorite winner you've been alive to see? You can't say Tiger though. That's not fair.
Favorite winner that I've been alive to see?
Because everybody's gonna say Tiger, so.
Yeah. I mean, 2019 is pretty insane. Just like that's one of those, like, I'll never forget where I was, like standing in front of, that thing. So we'll set that aside. I really love Adam Scott's win. And I love the picture. There's that picture of it because it's raining and he wins in the playoff. And there's this picture of him with all of the cameras in front of him, and he's going like this.
Because they like do the jacket ceremony on the green.
Yeah. But like the rain is coming down, and it's just like that moment is so iconic.
Yeah. Oh man, yeah, that is a good one. I forgot that they couldn't do the jacket ceremony on the green because it was pouring down rain. But he then he wanted to go back out there though.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
This is your moment, buddy. You got to soak it all in.
Yep. That was a great one. And then biggest heartbreak moment at the Masters you've been alive to see?
I think Rory's near misses there. Like the year, I can't remember. I think it was the year maybe Patrick Reed won, when he was close. I can't remember exactly, but like every one of his, yeah. Like that, and like probably the year that when Jordan was supposed to, all of that. Jordan's heartbreak was pretty tough, but like because Rory's been so close so many times, or like he's just had these like that journey for him is just like, oh my gosh, like I hope that one day he gets it done just for like his own, that would be, I know how much that would mean to him. So seeing over the years his journey and the ups and downs and the heartbreak, that I mean, I can only imagine like the shakes that he must get when he thinks about all the moments that have happened at Augusta over the years. So perhaps it'll happen one day soon.
Yep. Well, and that leads me to the final question. And I know it's still a little early, but to maybe make but any feelers, any picks, anybody you're thinking? I mean, obviously everyone wants it to be Rory just because
sure. Yeah. Setting Rory aside, I could really see Victor Hovland winning. I think that he is primed for a major championship, and his game really fits Augusta really well. And I would say probably like lower on people's list, more of a sleeper, would be Will Zalatoris. I think that I just was at the Genesis Invitational where he had a chance to win the golf tournament. He's playing super well. He is a self-described major specialist. I would not be surprised to see Will pulling it off.
Well, Augusta seems to be a place where he plays extremely well. So as long as the injury doesn't hold him back, and he seems to be doing okay after coming back. So
who knows? Who knows? As you know, golf is a crapshoot, so it's anyone's game. But those would be my two picks as of now.
Yeah, and Augusta is also a course that can pull people out of the woodwork. And I mean, last year we had an amateur on the final, like in the finals, coming out of nowhere. So
Oh yeah, Sam Bennett. You know what? I completely forget about what happens.
from year to year, I know.
It just like goes. Like it's constant. And you just shift focus. I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot about that whole storyline. He lands back in Texas or whatever it was, and he's got his whole family there waiting for him. Yeah, that did happen.
Yep. Yeah, because there's the whole conversation around what happens if he wins. Like, does he he gets the jacket, but he doesn't get the money, and there was all that conversation, and then
I think he would have been fine. He would have made his money.
Yeah, he would have been okay. Yeah, and then it didn't even matter anyway because the whole conversation was around Brooks and Rahm. So
yeah.
Yep.
Oh,
and then Phil comes in out of nowhere, ties for second. So who knows? Augusta makes anything happen. You never know.
Anything can happen. It's a magical place.
Yep, it is. It's a very magical place. Well, I thank you again so much for joining us, and maybe we will run into each other again. Who knows?
Who knows? I'll be there for Anwa this year.
So fun.
And then, so I'm really excited about that. And then I'll be covering our Masters in studio coverage this year. So I will be in Stamford, Connecticut, but I'll be a part of the Golf Channel's Masters coverage. So
wonderful.
Yeah.
Well, you all know where you can see Kira, and you can also follow her on her socials at Kira K. Dixon. Yes, that's all socials. Okay. And you'll see her on NBC Sports and the Golf Channel, and you'll see her interviewing all of your favorite players after the end of their rounds. And who knows? Maybe we'll see her interviewing some players at the TGL this year too. Maybe. Or no, that's the start of next year. 2025 is TGL.
I don't know about that one because they're well, you never know what can happen, but it's technically a different network.
Oh yeah, that's true. Okay.
Yeah. But I have done some stuff for like I hosted the Boston Common Golf launch and like yeah. So I've done some stuff with some of the team, like Los Angeles Golf Club had an event around Genesis. I got to go to. That was fun. So I definitely love the team cultures and concepts and the identities that they're trying to build. But I might just be a fan.
Yeah. Well, have you picked a team yet? Are you?
No, I try to.
There's not a San Francisco team, so
I don't know. There might be.
True. Well, yeah, we have a whole nother year, so they may be.
You never know. If San Francisco didn't have a team, that would be crazy because we have, I think, some of the best golf in the world and some big golf fans around. So I think it's a prime market for it.
Okay. Well, Tiger Rory, you heard her.
You heard it here first, San Francisco. You guys need a team water girl. I got you.
All right. Well, thank you again so much. And you can follow her on, like I said, all of her socials at Kira K. Dixon. And you will see her on NBC Sports and the Golf Channel. And you will see us again for another episode of Memoirs from Magnolia Lane coming up. And you will hear more from us at Golf Unfiltered. Thank you so much.